We go live in 15 minutes.
How much time would you do? How much time?
10. Going live. We are starting in 5 minutes. We start in 5 minutes. Make sure you use this brokers I'm using. So if you want to copy my trades, for example, for binary option, use the link number 2, because I trade on 1 minute. So I will say exactly the time I will take a trade, so you can be able to take a trade exactly same time like me. But if you use another broker, might not have the same value, but at least you will I'll teach you how I'm trading. So you'll get to that later. I typically do like 1 to 2 trades each session. So we are just waiting more 3 minutes before we start. We can start to prepare the things. As always, we need the investing.com. We have our trading view. Let's open the broker we're going to use for binary option. Typically I just take $100 trades when I trade here. But we don't use martingale, we just take one trade. So till now with binary option, the last 6 session, we have 5 winners. But typically I do like a couple of Forex trades first, and we get to binary option after. So we start in 1 minute, and we always will start with euro against dollar. Just to remove this, so I have a little control. We start in 1 minute. Let's open one more USD, so we don't break the one we are on. Let's take this one here. Let's go to bottom here, just so you can see the target. Let's take a target to 90, 0.97, I think is nice. Okay, then we have that. So there will be a signal not right on the bat, and I'll explain after. $97. So we will now start. I will give a signal right after that. We take a trade for euro against dollar. This is a trade we have been waiting for, by the way. So let's take euro USD. We take a short trade. We enter at this level there. We take our stop loss level. I'll post this everywhere, by the way. Take our stop loss level here and take profit. We take at this level right here. I will explain after. I'll just make sure I take the trade myself also. So now I will explain why we are taking this trade. So if you now look at euro USD now, you see we broke the $1 level we have been talking about. We got the retest right after, you see on this bar here. Now we have a new retest up, and if we zoom in, we see that it's we already are in profit since we started, and we got a super nice entry at almost the $1 mark. That is our target. Our stop loss we set comfortable, because you can see we got a spike up here, and it's a probability that you can get a spike a little higher, but at least we are protecting ourselves for that. But still, if this is a $1 loss on the stop loss, we make 4.47. Now the reason behind our target, we need to go very far back in history to find a target, because we need to see where do we have any type of support down here. Even in Forex.com that I'm using for the chart in for euro against dollar, don't go so far back. So I did open a new one down here. I go to the monthly, and we just go back. And here you can see back in year 2000 we did the same thing. We broke below. So let's take this to the daily chart. Let me see. We need to go a little more back. Little more. Let's take it to the weekly. So here you see, we broke it, and we can see then that the next support area is around 0.966. So then we take a comfortable take profit at this level. So basically, if we take show our trade right here, our trade will then be, let us see, we did enter in around here, we can say. That's around where we enter right now. You can see this red line here, where we are right now. And our target we have put there, and our stop loss we just have something like this. So here is our entry, and the probability is that this will be a winner. So more or less looks like this, the trade we are doing in today. So it was easier, we needed to go to another broker to find so far back history, because it's very long time since have been in this area breaking the $1 as we have done now. You can see here we got a spike up, so let's take a look at that spike. This spike is very high, I guess was something very strong news. I don't think this will repeat itself, so I don't think we don't need to protect ourselves for this one here, because our stop loss, I think we have around, what we did put? We put our stop loss at 606. So if we then go back here, our stop loss is basically on this level. So if comma spike up like this, we will lose the trade, but I don't believe this will repeat itself, because this is obviously a very strong news that happened to get something like this. So it's not always history will repeat itself with these type of things, but at least the target level that we put at the 97, that's something that the probability is that will repeat itself. So our take profit is basically here, more or less here. Little more down, but looks like this our trade basically. So I will say that's a very nice trade to start with today. Let's just go back to where we are. So already we can see that we are deep in the money. As you see, we open here and now already we are down here. You can still open the trade if you want to. We have so much to go on, so you can still open it if you like. Because you can see our win rate is so high. We have typically 1 to 1.5 is good enough. So you can still open the trade and put the same stop loss I'm using right now. So not to worry about that. We can also take a look at the smaller time frame to see how it looks like here. As you see, we got we forgot to see if it was any news. When it's swing trading, it does not matter that much, but for day trading it's super important, and also for buying option. So if you don't have account in investing.com, make sure you open one. You can just open a free account, but only make sure you put in your address. So every time zone you see on investing.com, follow your time zone. Okay, so now if you go to news, we choose economic calendar. That's something we need to do every day before we're going to do any type of trading. So you can see here now on day trading, if you go back to, you can see, do you see the spike you see up here? That's because of the news. Okay, so for the day trading part, you see it's 11:30. My time is 12:11 right now. So typically in like 20 minutes, that's the perfect time to trade again dollar, because you can see you got the news here. That's around 40 minutes ago. And if we go back here now, you can see the type what happened. You just had the normal bar here, and then came the news. You got a super bar, and always you see what news can. The news gave us a good entry for the swing trade. We can give it that. But if you're day trading, you should not trade yet. You need to wait and see what will happen after the news. So you should probably wait at least 20 more minutes before you start trading, because you can see, if you see how the chart have been, if we have been in a downtrend and then came a news, so this news means that was something bad for dollar. We can go back and see. Yeah, so that means that euro gained value compared with dollar for the short term. So we broke the trend line, and you can see we did go all the way to the starter trend. That's typically the strongest you can get out of something. And so that means the entry we got up here was amazingly good when you talk about swing trade. But about swing trade, yes, you don't need to think that much about news. It's good to wait to see, because the news can basically turn both ways, can go the other way also. So can be good to wait, but it's not so dangerous because our stop loss is so big. That's the thing with swing trading, is that you have a little more wiggly room. You don't need to think too much about the news. But for the day trading part, like this movement you see here, that's basically one trade. That's typically our take profit. If, for example, we are going to trade this trend line and break a trend line, we would have taken trade something like this. We would have taken a long trade right away. We have broken it. We would have taken our stop loss something like this, and take profit at least 1 to 1.5. So we would have taken something like this. So you can see the news, how big it is compared with a typical trade on day trading. This is typical trade we'll take. And maximum we will go for it 2 times. So just so you see the importance to wait till news are done, because in this case you would have been golden because you would go your way, but sometimes can go another way and you get your stop loss hit. So like I said, if you're day trader means you're looking on the smaller time frames, like 30 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, even 5 minutes. If you have any trades open, you should probably close them if there comes some type of news, because it's from when the news comes, it's basically gambling. Can go both ways for you. You can either get a win like this, or you can lose your trade like that. So always make sure you wait after. But if you're a swing trader means that you're looking on 4-hour chart, 1 hour chart, 1 day chart, and like weekly chart. You use, for example, weekly and day to see the trend, and then you do the trade on the 4-hour chart. Like this time around, we did not need to go to the 4-hour because our entry was so perfect, because we have been waiting to get a retest of this $1 mark. As you can see, we got perfectly, and that's why that was an amazing entry we had here now. We basically got the retest a little while ago here, but, or maybe, yeah, I think it was here. They broke it here, yeah, we got the retest here. So the thing is that the entry we got was so good, so we did not need to go to the 4-hour. The 1-hour chart, it's basically something in between. That's something in between day trading and swing trading. So 1 hour is something I don't trade after. When I day trade, I go only up to 30 minutes. Maybe I can look at the 1 hour to get the trend, but I like rather to see the trend on the 4-hour and daily, because I like to trade in the same way as they do. But of course, you can break this rule a little on the 30 minutes. Like, for example, when you see this break of a trend, like you see here, if it was not for the news and we got a small break here, we would have taken a trade like this, of course. Or you will follow a short-term trends like you see. But when we are able to trade in the same trend like 1 day, the win rate also goes so much more up. So if you want to be very conservative, you should always just mark the trend. To mark a trend, it's very simple, by the way. You just you see here, it's quite clear that you can see that it's a downwards trend. You see the bars go down, 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 down. So it's a downwards trend, right? You can clearly see that. On the 1 hour, you can see it on the 4 hour too. You can see it's a downward trend. And when you have a downward trend, you should then just look for, in the 30 minutes, if you start to look for only short trades. If you do that, your win rate go up. But like I said, you don't need to so much on day trading. You can find many trading possibilities. Go against the trend somehow. If you, for example, break the trend line and things like that. But if you stick to just short trades after the long-term trend, of course your win rate will go up. So that's not for that. Sometimes I can be talking too much. I need to take a break sometimes and then move on, so I don't repeat myself too much. Now let's see if there are any questions. No special questions here right now. Let me see. And no questions. Okay. Then we move on. We take the next pair. I think we can try to skip the dollar for now. We can go back to GBP USD in a little while. So let's take GBP GPY, because there are no news in that one. So here I see something on the 30 minutes. We see a clear trend here. Don't even need to think about it. We see a clear trend. This is just beautiful. It's so beautiful that we need to take the trade right away. We take our short. Amazingly nice. Let's take it there, and we target something like this. Let's go a little more down with this. Here. There we have it. We take this one. If he can let me. There. We take, this is GBP, GPY. GBP, GPY. Amazingly nice short trade. We easily, in the 30 minutes, we managed to see the trend also. Just wait a little. There, sorry. I needed to turn off something. So yeah, we could easily see on the 30 minutes that we had a downwards trend. We take a short trade entry at this level there. We take our stop loss. Here. And profit we take here. There. I will explain more after. There. Okay. Now let's go into it. So what we see here now, even if you enter now, you get a little better entry actually. So now wait, now we are breaking the trend. Maybe I was a little early here now. We can see this one was beautiful. This one turn, you should wait a little with maybe with this trade. Let's wait and see what happened here now. Now he's above the trend line. Let me just see if this if I correct the lines a little. No, I think we are good. I think we are good. We are still below it. You get a little better entry if you go in now. So that reason for this trade, we can easily see that is a downtrend. You see we get lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and the probability is we get a lower high again here. So like I said before, always trade with the trend. I know you see it's turning red. Always trade with the trend. Of course, one time the trend will turn, but more often will not do. Okay, so you can even drag this one even higher up, all the way up here. So the trend have been going on since up here. Let's see if it can even be higher. No, since here. So here you would have had, here you got the first. So here you can mark the first trend line. That means you have got, here you will get 1 win, 2 win, 3 win, 4 win, 5 win, and this will be the number 6. So that means 6 times you would have won if this will turn good, and then maybe 1 time the trend will turn, but then at least you have won 5 or 6 times before you get the first loser. So that's why it's so powerful to trade with the trend and make sure you take the trade when you come in the top. That's why I needed to just take this trade super fast, because the movement down can go very fast. So some of you may even got a little better entry than me. You see but now we are running in profit. So like I said, when you are able to get the trades in one of the tops here, always take it when you see that you got the test and you come to the retest, because you see that happen every time. You got the test, retest, and go down. Test, and you see that hold, retest, and you can go down. You got the test, got a big spike, but you see it didn't go below it after. This is what you call a fake out. So that means you need to wait till the confirmation. So you come here, you come then, you got the retest, you got a little spike up, and the same happened here. You got a little spike up, and now we're going down. So always make sure, wait for it, and go in. So now you can see our trade is amazing. We are already in good profit. So, like I said, trend lines are super, super, super strong. You will have so many winners before you get one loser if you follow the trend. So always trade with the trend. One thing you should not do, you can do, but never do. That is if you mark the downside. Let's do that. That's scary. You can do it, but it's scary. Many also like to take the trade down here. So you take the trade here, you go up. You go, take the trade here, you go up. You take the trade, go here, you go up. But we are then trading against our rules. You can see, even if you've done that, the first one would be marked here, right? And so that means you can have got 1, 2 trades, basically. Both of them would have turned out good, misunderstand me correctly, but it's against our rules. Never do that. Always trade with the trend, because when you take a trade up here, you're basically trading against the trend, and you should never do that. Never do that, because you can see here now. Let's say you take the trade here, right? and you never got this spike up here, and you continue downwards, then suddenly, and you don't get this spike up here, then suddenly you will hit stop loss here. But if you trade the another way, let's say you take the trade here and you continue and you don't get these spikes, but you still continue downwards, even if you don't get the spikes up, you will still continue downwards and you will hit your take profit. So, but when you trade against the trend, you really need the spikes up to be hit your take profit, because if you have your take profit and you take your take profit up here, for example, right? Then if this one never came, then the next ones, the next spikes that come up, they will not be high enough. Like the spike that come here is basically like your entry here. So never trade against the trend. Yes, in this case, they would have turned good, but this would just be luck if you hit. Because let's say you take your take profit up to the trend up here, then if you never got this spike up, this one would not be high enough. And if you did go out and you did not close your trade here, then after your stop loss will be hit here. So, like I said, never ever trade against the trend. Only keep to the upper line. So when you're downtrend, you only look for short possibilities. Then if you start to do that today, that's the time you start to be profitable. So never take that long trade down here. Like I said, all this would have turned good, but we don't do that. Only wait for the short trades. So that's one more me repeating myself, but I think it's more important I repeat myself so you learn to trade properly. Because what I want more than anything is that you can go out after this session, find trades for yourself and take them. And even if you lose, does not matter. I understand it's hard to lose real money, but if you keep to the rules I'm teaching you and you keep to it through a whole week, take maximum 3 trades a day, you will start to make profit. You will make profit, I guarantee you. If you do that through a whole month, you will make profit. I guarantee it. That's how much I trust in the way I trade. And that's why most of my trades are winners, because I keep the rules. Yes, of course, there will be losing trades. Misunderstand me correctly. But there will be more winners, and the winners are bigger than the losers. So, because you can see, in this case, for example, here, if the stop loss will be hit up here, okay, we lose 1. But if we win, we get 2.15. So if, for example, if your stop loss is $100, if you hit stop loss and it's $100, your take profit will be $215. So that means even with a 50% win rate, you are making money, right? But our win rate, of course, are far ahead of 50%. We have much more than that. But the thing is, trading like that, you are guaranteed to be a profitable trader, and you can make this your next job, guaranteed. Okay, so that's not enough of me babbling today. Now now I think we can take a look at GBP USD. The reason I wanted to wait a little is because you can see we had a news here. We did take an euro against dollar, but that was a swing trade, so it's a little different rules. So now let's take a look at GBP GPY. After we have done this one, we will take 1 or 2 binary option trades for the ones that are waiting for that. So let's open this one here. This one I think we will look at a higher time frame first. Okay, so what we can see is that we did break important this one you see yellow here right now. A nice trade would be one yesterday when we had the retest up here. That would have been a very nice trade. So in the close of the day, the entry, I would have taken a short trade, basically, and I would target down. So we are a little late here, but let's see on the 4 hour how it looks like here. So we can clearly see that we are in a downtrend. You see that we have a short-term trend line you see here. That's something I think you'll see better on the 30-minute. So here we have something the same. If this bar can come up in this area here, we can get a trade like we do with euro against dollar. So for the ones that want to sit and follow a little, a good entry will be maybe up in this level here, and we can target something like down there, and a stop loss, take it a little above this one you see here, and take a 1.175. I would not enter it here. I feel we are then chasing a trade. I would have kept it only if we can come up again to this line up here. So let's try to make that as a small deal. We can actually move this little down to around here. So let's move this one down here a little. So if we can get a retest of this trend line, I will any time of the day I will take a trade here easily, something like this. Take a 1.5. This will close in super short time, maybe within 1 hour if you get. So, but like I said, let's wait and hope we can get a retest up here and get a better entry. I don't want to take it here because, like I said, we are chasing a trade, and I don't do that. Because if we see the trend line, we got a little spike down here, but the typical downwards trend line is a little tight, so we don't have so much to go on. So you can see if we take the trade now here, we don't have so much room to move on, because yes, we broke below it here, but typically you can see this is the trend line we have in the bottom area. So we need at least to enter here to get a trade that I feel is comfortable to take. So we can come back to this one to see if we can get a signal. This is not a pending trade, by the way. Let's wait and see. So I will come back to GBP USD to see if we maybe can take a trade here in a little while. Then let's take a binder option trade. Let's find one we like. I think USD CAD, dollar against the Canadian dollar. That's a nice one. We choose a candle chart, and I will show you every way that I trade when I trade binder option. Binder option, many think is gambling. It's not. You just need to have the correct setups. So we need to add the bullish band. Bullish band we use more to see if you are going to break support and resistance. I will explain that later. And we need to add the stochastic. Okay, now I will give you the rules. But before we do that, let's make things a little more clear. We don't need the medium line. We change this one for white. We change this one for white. Here we change this one for yellow. Okay, so now I'll just put up some lines and I will explain the rules after. So we take a, let's zoom in a little. We take a line here, if you let me. Horizontal line we take up here, move there, yeah. And in the bottom we take a line down here. Let's make the bottom one, we make it green. We can make it a little thicker. We take our top line, we make that one red. So it's equal to the ones you see here. we can make that one a little thicker also. So here is the rules. For me to take a trade on the green line, that means a call trade. Let's ready if we get one a trade. This Bollinger Band, the bottom line, need to be above the green line. The stochastic need to be in the dark region down here. And if we then touch the green line, we'll take a call trade. The same rules is in the red one you see up here. If these bars can come up, let's say come a green strong bar and touch this red line, and this upper Bollinger Band, white line, keep, so you have a black space in between the red and this white line here, and this stochastic is up in the black region up here, that's a put trade. So that's basically the rules. We will need to move the support resistance. When right away this line here, for example, cross below, then we need to start to look for the next support resistance. Support resistance is very easy. Just see areas where you see that you touch it many times and you see it's more like protected. You see here, the touch, go down. Here, the touch, go down. Here, the touch, very strongly, but did go down. This, the touch, did go down. And here yet again, we did touch it and we did go down. So if we had entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes ago, I would have then put the same line and we would have taken this trade and we would have won. And like I did say in the start, just so you can see that my method is working, we can take for this month the trades I have done. And here we can see I trade without martingale, I just follow the rules. And you can see we have 6 trades and we only lost 1 of the 6 trade. We don't try to revenge trade or nothing. As you can see, 8 of 8, I just did take this 1 trade, we lost it. Okay, done. I don't try to go in more times. Yeah, martingale can be nice, but when we are going, I want to teach you a way for binary option that you can trade safely, that without martingale, because right away you can trade without martingale and you have a win rate like you can see I have. That means you can start with a very small amount, build it up super fast, take a $1 bid instead of $100 QC I do, and you can build an account super fast. But try to only take like 3 trades a day. I understand it's boring if you start with little money and you make maybe like, let's say you win 2 trades and you lose 1 and you just sit with $1 profit. It's boring, but better do that in the start and build something. Now you can see we are getting closer to a trade, but we only take a trade if this red one can cross down and hit our green line here, green yellow line. It's not completely green, but green enough for us. We then take a trade. It's still valid as you see because this lower Bollinger Band, it's you have a space in between that and our support. Like for example here, if this one had turned red and closed it below to the green line here, we would not have taken it because you see the Bollinger Band have crossed it, and that means if cross the support line, that means if this will turn and go downwards, it's ready to break it. It's more like a rule. So keep to the rules and you will do good. Let's now wait and see. If we don't get a trade very soon, we will put a marker here and we will at least we will not be able to take a trade like trade, but we can see potential trades that we will have taken, because as long as the rules are followed, we will see how the market would have turned if we have taken a trade. We take a horizontal line. If you are just into binary option, make sure you keep this up for yourself. We're going to make a line here now. Let's make it can be white actually, white, but we make it a little thicker, super thick, like this. So every bar that now come after here we can then follow and see, and I will explain why we would not have taken the trade and why we would have taken the trade in the places. Like for example, if this this one goes something like this and start to go up here, let's make this white. Right away, this Bollinger Band cross above this red. That means everything after here, after the cross here, would not be a put trade more. But as long as this one can stay below, it's a put trade. As long as this one down here can keep, like, let's say something like this green line is always valid as long as this white lower Bollinger Band keep, so you have a little space in between it. But right away, let's say this one had rather go here, that means this one would not be valid more, we need to look for a new one. So that's basically, in a nutshell, the easy rules to follow. It's so easy rules that, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's very little you need to think, to be quite frankly. So that's basically the way I'm trading. Stochastic down here, up here, space in between, trade. So you need 3 things to take a trade. Okay? So I will repeat it once again so you really have it clear. If the stochastic is down in this region here, this bar turn and hit this support, and you have a space in between the lower Bollinger Band and this, call trade. Same up here. If the stochastic come in this upper region here, that means above the 80 line, you're up here, and the upper Bollinger Band keep more or less like it is now, so you have a space in between our resistance zone up here, then a easy put trade. But we need, of course, to touch the line up here and touch the line down here for trades. So that's basically how we trade binary option, and that's the way you can trade binary option today and make money. Not be these ones that are putting $100, you lose it in one day, and that's not how we trade. We trade for profit. Okay? Now let's, by the way, our trade here looks like we maybe was too late to get here. We don't looks like we're going to get this trade. We can take a look at our, but our euro against dollar is doing amazingly. We are deep in the money. And if we take a look at our GBP USD trade, now let me see now. This one we have, here we are deep in the money. This one we have taken. The only one we did not take is the GBP USD, because we basically were waiting to see if we could get a retest up here. So we got 2 signals and both are deep in the money, we can say like that. Now let's take a look at USD GPY. Let's take a look at the higher time frame first to see what we can see. Okay. So here we can clearly see that we are in an uptrend. That means we should only look for buy opportunities. We did break this strong resistance on here now that is turned support. So that means we might look for a long trade. Let's see on the 30 minutes how it looks like. We can see that we have more like a strong trend up here, but we do have, in the 30 minutes at least, we can see that we have resistance here. So what I would be looking for here now is if we on the 30 minutes can close above this green line you see here, then will not be a crazy trade, but at least we can target something like this. Target the top here, say something like this would be a trade. But I want us to see if we not just go above it, but we need to, this one need to close, so I come a new bar and close above this grid line, then I will take a trade like this, because we are only looking for buy opportunities. So, but right now we can't take a long trade, because we can see this for the 30 minutes, this one is pretty strong resistance zone. You see we have touched 1, 2, 3, we broke it here, but we go directly down. So that's why I only take profit at the same level as last time we did go up here. But yes, if we just can close above here, we can then look for a buy opportunity in like now, for example, he's crossing above it. So if we can stay up there in like 12 minutes time, we can then open a trade here and take something like this. Then we set the stop loss in the trend line and take profit at the last spike up. So, but let's wait and see. The probability is that we might go down here, maybe up, and we can even break it and go down here. You see, that's why we can't open yet, because we can get a retest down here before we go up again. So for the short-term trade, for us to take this one here now, we need to wait. We need to be patient, because we are not hunting trades, we are waiting for confirmations. A confirmation for me would be if that we could close above here. Like now, for example, if they close in the position it's now, then the next trade I will then take a long trade and target this. So like I said, we need to wait more 11 minutes. But if we could close up in this region here, I would then take the trade and go for a long. But we need to break above this support you see here. So the support that we have, the resistance that we have in 136, 946, we need to close above this line. So I will not put a pending long trade signal, because many will misunderstand it. I know that from the past, that they put a pending trade. We are not taking a pending trade. It's a pending trade for your memory. You need to, because this one can spike up and hit the pending trade and then go downwards. We need to make sure that we close up, that the body close above, and then we can take the trade. That's why we can't put a pending trade here now. That's why I will not give the signal, because I know too many will just add just a pending trade, and that can make you lose money. Even though the trade, is a valid trade, but only if the bar close above the green line. So that's why I will not put up signal, and we will not be able to take this trade today, just because my session is also done in 10 minutes. So, but yes, so just this can be a teaching moment for yourself if you want to be trading after the session, is to follow the USD GPY, put your resistance zone at the same level you see on the screen here now, 136.945, and just wait to see if we close above it. Might not be on this bar, can be on the next, can be on maybe in 1.5 hours. And then, like for example, like you see right now, if you zoom in there, right now, if you close it in the position it's right now, perfect, then you can take a long trade, take your stop loss in the trend line. The trend line you just make so you hit this bottom lines you see here, right? So you take your stop loss in the down. So in this case, let's say you open it here, then you move it a little more, like something like this, and you can target the spike up here, and you get a 1 to 1.5. If a trade is less than 1.1.5, I don't take it. This is the minimum take profit level I take. I never go for lower than 1 to 1.5. I know some people take 1.2. I feel it's too little. I only take 1.1.5. Because I have my rules. You can make your own rules, but that's how I trade at least. I always keep to certain type of rules when I'm trading, just to make sure that we are doing things correctly. So let's see here now. Yeah. So like I said, this can be a learning moment for you, so you can take a trade after the session. Now let's take a look at some more drinks here. So that's USD GPY for you. We can now take a look at gold. Gold is one of the things I like the most to trade. It's very easy to trade. We do actually maybe have a trade going on here tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Here you see a pending trade I do have from last session, but we need to close above this green line here. So if this one can close in night today above this green line, we can then take a nice long trade up to this trade line. The reason I can trade a little against the trends in gold is because gold is moving a little different than other things. Because if you look at the weekly, let's take a monthly. I will show you a thing. Gold is in the long run is trending upwards. Okay, so that's why I only with gold, I don't have the capability to take short trades, even though there can be many short good opportunities. I always only look for long trades. So the perfect trade opportunities you have with gold is when you touch the monthly trend line. So for example, you had it very closely here, we will touch it here. I don't think we'll touch it anytime soon, but we might touch it in the future here. So when you come down to the monthly trend line, then you can go in with some high lot size, because then you can really go for the big money. But as you can see now here, we have a strong monthly support here now, and I will look at least for a long trade if we can close above this green resistance here that will turn support, and then I think we can target up here. Maybe don't need to go so crazy, because it can take a little couple of days before we come up, so at least something like this. But still the ratio is good enough. It's 1 to 2.32, so we are happy with that. So that's basically gold. As we have 5 minutes left, we can go back here and see what happened. Here you can see you need to have patience. If you've been sitting waiting here now, we will be waiting for nothing. You can see we have not reached any of our target regions. So you need just to have patience. We will, of course, touch one of these lines. If they are still valid when you touch, that's another thing. But yes, you don't get so many trades through a day trading the way I trade. But what I can tell you, your win rate will be so high that you will make money at least. And there are very few people that can come and tell you that they are profitable traders for binary option. There can be someone that in short term can tell you, I'm a profitable trader with binary option, because they are marketing gain, right? Martingale can be scary if you have bad entries. But if you trade like I do, you will then be a profitable trader trading the correct way. That's something special within binary option, because binary option, yes, the thing is you make money fast. Because basically you can double your money in one day if you take enough trades. I will not suggest you to do that. Don't need to rush it. I understand it can be boring in the start if you go in with little money, but rather take your time, because right away you do it correctly and take just 2-3 trades a day. In the long run, and this long run don't need to be many days, you will start to see, let's say you start with $100, then suddenly after a couple of weeks you have $200 in the account. Then after that week again, you start to have 300, 400, then start to be cool to trade. So take your time. Like my account did not turn up to 30,000 overnight. This takes time. I did not deposit this money. This is money that is earned over a long term of time. But of course, and you see, I just take $100 trades because I'm happy with that. $85 for me, that's money I did not have from before. I'm not greedy. But yes, when I build up, yes, of course, you need to go a little harder sometimes. I've done $1,000 trade, I've done that. Even done $3,000-4,000 trades. But now I'm happy with $85. So that's good for me. So only if you need to come up to a level where you feel comfortable to trade and you can make some real good money. So if I concentrate through a day, I can find maybe 3 trades. I can take more trades, but like I said, that's my limit. Then most certainly I win 3 out of 3 trades, and I make like $240, $250 more or less, depending on the percent that is here. And that's good money after, of course. And you don't need to be sitting waiting. What you can do, for example, you can put more like an alarm when you come over a special areas. You can do that in TradingView. Just open the same chart in TradingView, and then you can get alert if you come out in a level where you really need to follow. So you don't need to follow in this boring area here. You just follow when you start to be close to your support or resistance zone. Now there are just 1 minute left, so if there are any questions, we can see. Just start to maybe see some of my old sessions and learn. And next time, make sure you have the same Forex broker and binary options broker I use, and copy, because you learn from copying. Because every time I take a trade, I explain what I'm doing, and then when you copy, you will be emotional attached to the trade I'm doing, and then you learn from my mistakes or my winnings. Because of course I will never win 100%. I will never promise anyone here that my trades will be 100%, but what I can promise is that we're going to make profit in the long run. That's what I will promise, and that's what we're all going to keep to. So that's it for today. I will be back in Friday, 18:00, same time, and I'll be 1 hour live also then. And we'll see if we can get some more signals, and probably maybe get a binary option trade also. We did not get one this time, but it's not something like, I don't trade just to trade. I trade when things are lining up correctly. So with that, have a perfect day.